الحقيقه الاسئله كتيره جدا كريستوف، الحوار ساخن والاسئله كتيره الحقيقه. وان شاء الله نحاول في خلال ال 15 دقيقه المتبقيه ان احنا ناخد اكبر قدر من الاسئله. الحقيقه في تعليق الحقيقه جه من استاذ نعيم الجاسر، وهو بيتحدث عن الانجيجمنت مع الناس، وان المجتمعات وخاصه الشابه منها في وضع حرج، الشباب في وضع حرج في التواصل، وان التراست هي مساله بقاء وقدره على او هي كلمه السر في البي ار في الفتره الحاليه. ايضا هناك تعليق من استاذه دعاء صادق، وهي تتحدث عن انها كانت تعتمد او تعول كثيرا على الاتصال المباشر المواجهي كوسيله مهمه جدا من وسائل العلاقات العامه. الان في ظل هذه الازمه اتضح ان الاتصال الالكتروني له دور كبير في الوصول الى الجمهور واسع النطاق. فهي برضو بتتحدث عن هل هذه النقله او السويتش الذي حدث سيكون له اثر في مستقبل العلاقات العامه. اتخيل هو سؤالها يعني هل الديجيتال زي ما طرحناه الديجيتال بي ار ستحل محل التراديشنال بي ار او العلاقات العامه التقليديه، وهو سؤال الحقيقه في اعتقد في عقل جميع المهتمين بالمهنه. فما رايك؟
I believe that digital PR will not replace PR. I believe that digital PR is just a way to, you know, you must not see digital as an enemy or as a competition of what you're doing. I remember when I started to work in public relations, I was sending the press releases by post, and I was sending sometimes, I was very late in the evening, was really heavy boxes of envelopes and stamps and press releases and going to the post office before it was closed, and you know, making sure that the address were correct, etc. Spending a lot of time employing a lot of people just to put the envelope and to do the stamping, etc., etc. Okay, now I click on a button and I can send a press release to millions of people in 1 minute, or even in less than 1 minute. Digital sometimes is giving you the means to do a lot of things better, and a lot of things was very, you know, more efficiently. So you don't have to refuse that, because it will help you big time in your daily work. So you have to accept it, and you have to make sure that this will be. You will take the best of all possibilities that digital is offering. But that never means that it will replace human relationship. It will not replace peer-to-peer. It will not replace direct communication and relationship. It will never replace this. And think about well, put yourself in the shoes of someone who's trying to, I don't know, having the project to travel to another country. I would love to come back again to Egypt myself, and I could tell people, okay, what do you think? You know, so I will look on the online portal with wonderful pictures of everything, like it is paradise everywhere, with people smiling, etc. And eventually, what I will get, I will be bombarded by PR messages telling me, come to my place, come to my hotel, come to my resort, etc. But what will I do on top of it? I will not buy just because I'm bombarded by those messages. I will buy because eventually I will tell a friend, okay, by the way, I want to go to Egypt. And he will tell me, oh, by the way, I've discovered something incredible where you could have the better places for scuba diving, which are there, etc., etc. It will be peer-to-peer communication. It will be trusted communication, because it will be a friend of mine or a reliable source of information. And then on top of it, I say, okay, that's a good idea. And I will eventually buy a trip to Egypt and to this very place. And so never put yourself in the position to fear that digital will be everywhere and replacing everything. It will never happen. Digital is just a series of means provided by technology to be more efficient, to reach more people, to go faster, and to avoid carrying those large boxes of papers that you're sending to 500 journalists. So this is the way. And there's another thing that is really important as well to mention. By digital PR is not only sending press releases to journalists, it's also dealing with social networks. Think of it. Many years ago, when I started my career in PR, I couldn't know and I couldn't guess what consumers or audience were thinking about the product of my organization, of my client's organization, and so on. I couldn't know. I was hoping that they were happy. I was hoping that they were finding the product okay, and they were having a good experience with the product, with the solution, with whatever, right? Now on social media, on social networks, because people are commenting everything on everything, right? I can see what people think about my product. I can see what people experience with my product. I can see and I can read it from real users. Okay, sometimes it's very negative because people want to tease you and people want to play with your reputation, trying to damage your reputation. Maybe sometimes it's the competition that are doing this kind of games. But if you extract these naughty people who try to damage your reputation, you will eventually have the possibility to understand what the audience think. And then it's fantastically important because you cannot do PR without understanding the audience. You cannot do PR. Again, I will come back to my previous point. PR is about establishing mutually beneficial relationship. So if you cannot know who you are going to establish a relationship with, you cannot establish, you cannot guess how you will get there. So, and this is why I told you in my previous, in my presentation, that the first thing that you will need to do tomorrow is to try to capture what's in people's mind now. And this, you will only be able to do it because we're living in the digital world. You know, because you will be able to do some social listening using monitoring tools that are fantastic and the numerous on the market that will allow you to understand, okay, this is what people think, this is what people want. And then because they speak on social networks, because they're vocal every single day, and because there's a lot of them who are giving you insights, okay, you have the solution and you know where you have to change and you know where you have to improve. And this is a gift. Okay, sometimes when people are very much criticizing you, it's not pleasant, but this is a gift because people are telling you, okay, you have to change this, right? And this is, I think that digital will be everywhere, but digital will never be the only thing that will make people, help people take decisions.
الحقيقة هنا برضو الأستاذ وليد يتحدث عن معاناة الحكومات من العجز المالي حاليا مما قد يقلل من الميزانيات الخاصة لإدارة العلاقات العامة والتواصل في المنشآت. فهو بيسأل هل تعتقد أن قلة الدعم ستؤثر في دور العلاقات العامة لهذا السبب؟ ربما لاستغناء بعض المؤسسات عن بعض العاملين في هذا المجال.
Yeah, well, it's I would say for many people, budget deficit is not their problem. Well, government budget deficit is not their problem. For many people, government budget deficit is the problem of the government, right? They have to deal with it and they have to manage this, etc. We live in a world where many governments all around the world will have major deficits. The only thing when it comes to us as a problem, as an issue, is that when the deficit, we have to pay for it by, raising taxes, when the government raises taxes and so on. So it's a very difficult point, but I'm not sure it has an impact in everyday's life, because if you need to pay more tax, obviously you will need to well, it will be less money for you. It will be things that you will not get. So it will have an impact on your life, on your daily life, but it will not have an impact on PR per se, because I don't believe that it will, okay, we know that governments live with deficit. We know that governments live with a lot of debts. And this period of the COVID-19 crisis is raising up the dates of every government worldwide. There's one thing that is very positive. And this is something that we have seen in many countries in Europe. This is the case in France, in Germany. This is also the case sometimes somewhere in the US, but not really the same. Governments have told to the audience, we are going to have more debts, but we can't leave you alone. So we cannot, the reason why we're creating more debts to us is that because we want, we can't leave you behind, we can't leave you in the situation where you will lose your job, your company will go bankrupt, etc. Because we want to save you. And President Macron in France said something one of the first time he communicates, very formally from the Élysée Palace to a lot of people and on TV with the flags, etc., very formal. He said, the government will pay this, whatever it will cost. And he's repeated this, whatever it will cost, which was a very positive message and very well received message by many people, because it was showing that, okay, President Macron he will create debt, but it's not our problem. The first problem is that it will not leave us, whatever it will cost. And this message of whatever it will cost was a very, very positive message in terms of PR, because people have understood that, okay, maybe it will be hard times in 2 years, 10 years, or 20 years to reimburse the debt, but at least our government is not leaving us behind, because they will pay whatever it will cost.
اشكرك كريستوف. الحقيقه الوقت الحقيقه بيجري بسرعه جدا، احنا ناقص لنا دقيقه على انتهاء الويبينار، فارجو انه يعني اعتذر لبعض الناس اللي انا ما قدرتش اخد الاستفسارات بتاعتهم، ولكن هنحاول ان شاء الله ان احنا يبقى في اكتر من ويبينار اخر مع حضرتك الفترات اللي جايه وبعض الخبراء الدوليين. اذا نحن نتحدث عن إعادة الثقة في إعادة بناء الثقة أيضا من خلال المجتمع، في إعادة بث الأمل أيضا. نتحدث عن لابد أن نلتقط أنفاسنا لنتحدث أو لنرى ماذا يريد المجتمع والجمهور الجديد وماذا يتوقع في العلاقات العامة الجديدة. والحقيقه انا بشكر حضرتك جدا على تواجدك معنا كريستوف النهارده، افدتنا جدا، وبعتذر لاي حد ما قدرناش ناخد الاسئله بتاعته، ولكن سنجاوب عن هذه الاسئله سأتشاركها معك ايضا كريستوف، لانني اعرف اهميه هذا الامر عندك، لان عندنا الحقيقه اسئله كثيره، فان شاء الله سنتواصل خلال الفتره الجايه وسناخذ بعض الأسئلة ونتشارك بها. أشكرك جدا على وجودك معنا النهارده كريستوف وعلى وقتك، وأشكر جدا السادة المشاركين على تواجدهم معنا. كان ويبينار جيدا، استفدنا كثيرا منه، والحقيقة هذا هو عهدي بك دائما كريستوف، دائما يكون عندك الجديد، ودائما تعطي لنا من خبرتك بطريقة سلسة وسهلة. أشكرك مرة أخرى كريستوف، وأتمنى أن نراك قريبا في بعض الويبينارز القادمة. أشكرك وتحياتي هنا من القاهرة من مقر المنظمة العربية للتنمية الإدارية إليك في بروكسل. شكرا كريستوف.
My pleasure. Thank you very much to all. Thank you.
السادة المشاركين، أشكر حضراتكم على وجودكم معنا على مدار هذه الساعة. كانت ساعة مفيدة جدا، استفدنا كثيرا واستمتعنا بحوارنا مع خبيرنا. إن شاء الله نبقى على تواصل. سيكون هناك سيرفي سيصل بسعادتكم بعد انتهاء الويبينار لمحاولة لتحسين منا لهذا الويبينار والويبينارز القادمة. أشكركم ونراكم دائما على خير، وهذه تحياتنا من المنظمة العربية للتنمية الإدارية وفريق العمل والشبكة العربية للتواصل والعلاقات العامة. السلام عليكم.